In the name of God's only Son, the one who encourages us to act outrageous and be courageous in our faith. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Have you ever reflected back about the who you were long ago and compared that who of yesteryear to the who you now hold dear? I have. As a child, I was meek and mild, rarely spoke, had extremely low confidence, and I was a terrible artist. So much so that other children named and claimed that to my face regularly. My sister Amy, however, was a tremendous artist. Every Advent, her paper mache nativity would reappear center court in our grade school library. Her painting skills showcased in the front window of the local ceramic studio, her drawings, always on the refrigerator fridge. One day, in second grade, our school principal, Mrs. Hack, summoned me to her office, and as any child summoned to the head honcho's domain, I worried. What had I done? Behind her back, we called Mrs. Hack the giraffe, for she was tall, beautiful, graceful, and yet fiercely unafraid to call a spade, inform we children how we could behave better. Regularly, students who cursed aloud on the playground were required to write their crude words heard 10 times over in a marble notebook while the giraffe watched. Hack had the ability and agility to make bullies cry and crumble before her. So when the intercom summoned my name, I took the long way there. And I prepared to be punished. Upon arrival, Mrs. Hack smiled and presented the power of three to me: a desk, a pile of blank paper, and a container of freshly sharpened pencils. And then she explained, "Marjorie, we need a picture for our all-school Christmas pageant program. Draw something. Take as long as you need." Her words indeed were incomprehensible. Outrageous. "Excuse me," I said, "you have the wrong Gerbract. Amy's the one you want, not me." I began to cry. And then Mrs. Hack replied, "Marjorie, I picked the right Gerbract. I've heard how others say you are a terrible artist. The rumors are not true. You are the who can do this." Taking on the task she asked, for the first time with joy, I drew. And at that moment, I knew. I believed, I conceived. I was an artist. Today we hear a message from Jesus played over and over drawn over and over throughout the ages, the Magna Carta of Christianity, Jesus' inaugural address, words heard when Christ was just booting up his ministry, Beatitudes, and the content of his teachings, incomprehensible, outrageous. Then and now, holy cow, does God want us to embrace these traits? Friends, these are not the hot qualities we aspire towards. These are not words we willingly place on our resumes. I'm persecuted. I'm poor in spirit. I am pure in heart. As part of our bishop's remarks yesterday at diocesan convention, he said this: the world does not reward the meek. They are losers, peacemakers. We're told they shouldn't waste their time. The merciful, pathetic, weak. Those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, a joke, more losers. And as for those who mourn, get over it. Friends, the world is not an easy place for kingdom living. We know that. There is that constant judgment we pour over ourselves and the constant judgment others pour down on us. There are people all around us who seem as if it is their role and goal to bring us down. Author Joyce Heatherly calls them evaluators. I prefer Freudian psychologists' phrase, basement people. You know the kind. Family or friends, living or dead, who are constantly going after our heads. Consistently, continually reaching up through that black water, trying to grab us and pull us down. Thankfully, there is that totally separate category. Balcony people. You know them well. Tertullian spoke of them when he wrote, "See how those Christians love one another." People who stand up for Jesus, live into their faith by standing with the downtrodden. People who enflesh the words of the gospel. Balcony people will go through hell to help others be well. And when they are with you, they are with you. Some balcony people are here on earth, right here in these pews. Others have moved onward, upward. The Living Translation version says it best: we have this huge crowd of people of faith watching us from the grandstands. Saints we've loved may be in heaven, but they are still the leaven to our bread. They're far away on another plane, and yet they remain ever so close, living in our hearts. They are our cheerleader voices, and the choices they've made to believe, to flesh out the Beatitudes, have transfigured us, transformed us. In her remarkable book, Balcony People, Joyce Heatherly writes, "Let me ask you, who is the affirmer in your life who by one small sentence or more has changed and lifted your opinion of yourself? Who was that person, early or late in your life, who recognized the first sparks of originality in the labyrinths of your mind and soul, and who saw you as no one else saw you, as God sees you?" Once a year, on All Saints' Day, we honor our balcony people, our personal saints, that wonderful cloud of witnesses who chose both in life and in strife to be outrageously vivid in their faith. In remembering them, we remember ourselves, who we want to be, and more importantly, how we want to see the world. Let us pray. Lord, the world needs more balcony people, a lot more true blue Jesus followers, who don't just read the Beatitudes, but who lead with the Beatitudes. Lord, as we remember our balcony people in here, may we re-image their fierce devotion and promotion of the kingdom out there. For the saints of God are just folk like me, and I need to be one, too.